again to 8 Good Minutes. I'm your host, David Hall. Excited to be with you today. We got one very special guest and another guy. Chris Pizzoli is here, the main man here at Hall Financial. I refer to him as the other guy.
The main man. Thank you.
Yes.
Morning.
Absolutely. Good
CP.
morning. Good to see you. CP, there you go. And there's Katie Wright. Katie, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it. How are you today?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're really glad you're here and want to talk about you and your team and what's going on in this market. So we just like to jump right into it. Tell me, here we are in March 2024, and there's obviously challenges in the market, but also a lot of opportunity. Tell me what your view of the market is right now, just in general. What are you saying to buyers? What are you saying to sellers? And what are you seeing out there?
I would say that the market right now is starting to pick up.
Yep.
We're getting into spring. We're getting into the warmer weather. We're starting to see more inventory.
Yep.
So more listings are coming out. And it's going to start getting more competitive, as it is usually in spring and summer. So that's what I would just...
Yeah, it's definitely, we're hearing that it's picking up, which is a good thing because like the last 3 or 4 months have been a little slower than most agents, would have liked. And I know you've got a team. Tell us a little bit about how your team is assembled and how you came up with the team concept for you and the people that you work with.
So the team consists of 4 full-time agents. We're all driven women. We work together very well. We've worked together for years. We all love and support each other. And I think we have a really good dynamic.
Yeah, and CP, you get to work with them, which is exciting. Tell us a little bit about Katie's team and how you guys work together.
Yeah, so it's been a good mix. Everyone I think is very, like you said, driven, and they all kind of bring their own little flair to dealing with clients. The thing I guess that stands out most is the personality that comes through, the care for the client. I mean, you guys go everywhere. You really kind of go all out for your clients, and that's fun because I feel like I try to do that.
Yeah,
I think it's a good mix that way.
Well, that's part of your secret sauce is the way that you go over and above, and so obviously that matches what you do as well. Do you feel like, Katie, that with your team, like that is what separates you from other agents, or what do you feel like are sort of those separation factors for your team with versus other agents?
So I think one great thing about us is we all are spread out a little bit in different locations. So we're able to cover a good area from Livingston to Wayne County. We know the neighborhoods. We know the new developments that are coming. So I think that's one great thing about the team. There are a lot of things that set us apart. Every day we do something for each client, specific to that client. But I think, and I'm sure you've heard this before, the best ability is availability.
It's one of my favorites.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that between us 4 ladies, we are able to get our clients into homes and not let them miss opportunities.
So if you had a new agent join your team, or if you had a newer agent call you and wanted to maybe get some advice from you, what kind of advice do you give to a new agent starting out, or what's like the biggest thing that you tell them?
I would say that there is a lot to learn in the industry, and give yourself grace. It takes time. If you are able to find a mentor, I think that is huge in being successful. And if you put 150% into this business, the sky's the limit, and you will do well.
Her team, one nice thing that I'd say is the willingness, I think, to learn and try to grow and work on your craft. Like a couple of the ladies and I went to an all-day kind of like, work on yourself type thing within the business. And for me, I know me personally, I'm always reluctant to do that kind of stuff. I don't want to do it. I'm like, I don't need that. I don't want to spend a whole day, learning. But, you need to. And they were all in.
Yeah.
Right in, both feet. Let's go. Let's do it. And it was a good day.
Good. Yeah. What's your attitude sort of towards the mortgage piece of it? I know some agents get involved in that stuff and you want to know about the programs and what to do, and some people just turn it over and say you handle that part of it. What do you like to do there?
I like to stay in my lane when it comes to the financing. I definitely like to be informed as to new programs that come out or certain qualifications that clients may need to meet in order to qualify for a program. I know some of that stuff, but I typically like to direct them to the lender.
Yeah, and I think we do a pretty good job with that. Not getting in each other's lane.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's usually a fine line. It's like when there's programs that have come out, like a few months back, where if you found a certain type of house in a certain zip code, you could get a big rebate on it. You want to know about that for your clients, but then other things about like, how PMI works on 3% down, that's not necessarily anything that, you need to be talking to the client about, but certainly some people like to know about it.
Right.
Yeah.
There's so much information out there. I just don't want to speak incorrectly.
Yeah, yeah. What's the biggest thing you're telling buyers or sellers right now in this market? What is like the biggest piece of advice that you're giving?
I would say whether you're buying or selling, work with somebody that you trust and feel comfortable with. It's an intimate transaction when buying or selling a home, and you want to feel comfortable and feel like you're in good hands working with a professional. The other thing I would say is not to focus on the interest rate. I believe a lot of people put too much weight on that, and that can change. So focus more on the reason why you want to be in a new home and what that would do for your family and yourself. And we heard a lot of buyers and sellers last year say, I'm waiting on the interest rate to change.
Yeah.
And property values are going up and they're still waiting.
Yeah. It's interesting, Kristen, you comment on this more than anybody. The rate might go down 1% over, the next 6 months, but if housing values continue to go up 10, 20, 30,000, then it just doesn't even make any sense. Yeah.
absolutely doesn't. The math will never lie.
Right.
It's always a math problem when it comes to interest rates and payments and things like that. And yeah, if your price of your house goes up 30 grand and the rate comes down 1%, you haven't really gained anything.
Well, the most interesting thing about that conundrum to me is that if somebody wants to buy a house and they buy a house right now and they end up with a rate that's, let's call it 6.5 or higher than they want, when rates do go down, if they had waited, they can just still refinance at that time. Now, most people aren't waiting because they can't afford the higher payment, although once in a while that's the case, but it's generally because they just want it to be cheaper, but it doesn't really get cheaper, and the equity that they lost by not buying now, if values continue to go up, which I think everybody thinks. I mean, you don't see a scenario where 6, 12, 18 months from now that values are going down. I don't. Do you?
I do not.
Yeah, right. So I'm with you. So it just doesn't really make a lot of sense.
No, it's just when you think about it, everything, all the media, everything coming at us is saying it's a bad time to buy.
Yeah,
House prices
right.
are up.
Yeah.
Rates are up. Why would anybody buy a house? And the reality of it is that it's not. You would buy now because otherwise it's just going to cost more later.
And there's going to be a longer line to buy the house because when rates go down, that's everybody's strategy.
Right.
Katie, real quick before we get you out of here, because you've had such a successful career, just take the audience through real quickly how you got into real estate and sort of what was the key for you to become successful.
I got into real estate in 2013, and I've always loved the idea of being able to be in control of how much success I can have. And I think that is what has really driven me. And I put 150% into it. I started on the Perna team back in 2013, 14, 15. And I think that was instrumental in my just learning a lot. And then it just kind of grew from there.
Good. It's good to hear. Shout out to Mike Perna. Yeah.
I'm going to stop when you said, because I like to be in control.
Just end it there. Yeah.
No, like to be in control of your success. I mean, that's important, and I think a lot of people aspire to do that as well. So, congratulations to you on the great career you've had, putting a great team together, and give out your website real quick for folks that want to look you up.
kwrightrealty.com.
kwrightrealty.com. For everybody at 8 Good Minutes, appreciate you being on the show, Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Katie,
Thanks for
thank you
having
so
me.
much. You got it. We'll see you next time.